Hey guys, how's it going? I want to make a recording and I got a fan going on in the background, but I think it'll probably sound alright on this phone. This nice Note 20 that I am very privileged and blessed to have, grateful for. One of the things that I've kind of earned, I guess. And anyway, I'm turning 34 in under an hour. It'll be February 25th, 2021. And so I'll be turning 34. And supposedly 1 year later than Jesus lived, I guess. I was hoping to accomplish a lot of things this year. I did not foresee the pandemic or lots of things that happened. I guess that's the way that life is. Life's always throwing us curveballs. Horrifies me to think of things to come. Of course, there's always, the possibility of family deaths and stuff like that, or personal illnesses or whatever. But anyway, I am kind of going through a transition in life again, and I did it like this almost exact same time a year ago. And I made a video, or I made a recording saying how I felt like I was going to be going through a crossroads, and I think I foresaw some things, but there's a lot going on in life. But with work, first of all, the most important thing is that I'm not working right now, so I am looking for another job. And a lot of things happened with my Walmart job. I could say a lot of good things about it. I could say a lot of bad things about it. But I am grateful that I worked there. I did like, a lot of people that I worked with. Some people I didn't like. I did like some of the work. Obviously the pay is, was little. And it got me by, but I do feel like I have bigger goals, and I'm really trying to see if I can get a job that will pay more. But of course, not having a job, I have to pretty much kind of take whatever I can at the same time too. But I am trying more places that are going to be paying more. And I know Walmart's going to be getting a raise eventually, and eventually minimum wage is going to go up, the next handful of years, whenever. So a lot of places will be the same anyway. But, I was getting paid $12 an hour. So, it wasn't much. But Walmart did give bonuses and stuff, and so there were some good things about it. But, anyway, so I know I do feel a little compelled to explain and talk about the situation with that, and so I went through a lot there. I changed departments and I changed shifts there over time. Started out on the Cap 2 team, which was the second shift, unloading the truck and stuff, stocking the dried goods, foods, and, pretty much the worst position that they always are going to have a high turnover rate for, so you always get thrown on there. And it took me a while to get used to that and stuff, but I started liking it, but there were some people that I didn't like to work with. And, it's like some of the people that I did like ended up leaving or whatever, and it's kind of like getting stuck with people I didn't like to work with. Some of the people I didn't like to work with were some younger, cockier kids who were just kind of pain in the ass to work with. Just bragging about how good they were, trying to be like he-men, when we're all working at Walmart making a minimum wage and stuff, and they're, not, there's working hard, doing a good job, doing your best, trying to be your fastest, and then there's like being like a punk, like trying to be, better than everybody else or whatever, not just, making it like a competition. And I'm like, this isn't like a competition, okay? And and then be an asshole, have an attitude And so, I talked to him and I was like, yeah, I have these problems and I don't really, I don't want to really do this anymore. So, I talked to management about it and they told me, you know, I heard that there was an opening on the Fresh Cap team, which was the meat and produce, because I knew someone that worked on there. And so I moved to the second shift Fresh team, which was pretty good. It was definitely a lot different. It was more working by yourself instead of working with a team. I no longer had to deal with those people. Everybody that was on my team was nice. One guy kind of slower, not the greatest worker, but easy to get along with at least. Just kind of a disappointing work ethic a little bit. But anyway, I don't need to go through everything, but we had a lot of trouble with the COVID, with people calling in, quitting, and taking 2-week leaves and such. Because they have a point system to where basically if you call in, you get a point. If you come in late, you get like a half a point, whatever. Anyways, if you get like 5 points, you're basically done. But when this whole COVID thing started, they waived the point system so people could call in and not get points. And so people were doing it all the time. Of course, I didn't. No. I never called in for a very long time. Until November, they started counting points again. And then, I started struggling more a little bit, but really they were hurting on the Fresh Cap 1 team, like the first shift. They wanted me to come to first shift, and I said no because first shift starts at 4 a.m. And for one reason, there's one person that I didn't really like, that I didn't think I was going to get along with working on first shift, and I thought the waking up, having to wake up at like 3 or whatever was going to be ridiculous. And I was comfortable working second shift. I was coming in at like 1 or 2 o'clock, working till like 10, and it was easy. And also, you get to deal more with the store manager, who can be kind of militant, kind of rough, and I was like, I don't really want to be around her more. I don't want to be around this other worker, and I don't want to wake up that early. And, well, anyways, they ended up losing a lot of people on first shift, and they really struggled. And the one girl that I didn't really want to work with, she ended up switching to a different shift, or going to part-time, whatever. So they only had like 1 or 2 people left on like first shift when they were supposed to have like 4 or something. And one of the guys, one of their main guys on first shift, was basically new. He didn't really know how to do everything, and he wasn't really up to speed. And so basically the first shift, meat and produce, gets the freight. They get the truck. We get pallets full of produce and pallets full of meat that go in the meat cooler, and the produce goes in the produce cooler or whatever. And, they break it down and they put it all away. They break it down in the coolers where it goes, and they stock the floors and everything. And so second shift would come in, and we would basically just keep up with what was on the floors and stuff. So it was pretty laid back. Well, when they started getting hurt really bad, and this was right around like Christmas and stuff, December, which was basically the busiest, craziest time of the year, we had a lot more inventory, we had a lot more stuff coming in, and people weren't buying it all. So, we did have more customers, but we had more product, and we had like more product than we could handle, really. And there was just a lot of ridiculous things going on. But like I said, being shorthanded everywhere. But it got so bad on first shift to where basically, there's this one guy who's like new, and then like maybe somebody helped him every now and then. And I was coming in on second shift, like having to put like the meat freight away because like it wasn't touched and stuff, or half of it or most of it, whatever. And while they're like trying to find replacements for first shift, which just takes them forever because they just, I don't know, they don't care. It is hard to keep people. It's hard to find people who show up and will stay or whatever. But I mean, and sometimes it's like, are you even taking applications, or how hard are you looking? Like, start hiring people. Like, anyway, it was like, that was to the point, once I found out, I guess, that girl was going to be leaving first shift, and I was like, okay. I was like, maybe I can go for a change, maybe it'll be better, because the choices were stay on second and do first and second's jobs, or, go to first and get things done straight. So I went to first, and, in the winter, and there was some times when I had to, work by myself, because everybody would call in, and like I said, we had a ridiculous amount of product coming in, and one of so there was, basically 2 people on the second shift crew, and one of them went on, a 2-week leave, and the other one that was left was the guy who I said who was, slow, who had a bad work ethic. So he's basically doing everything on second shift by himself, which he can't even handle doing his own job. And so what would happen was we'd come in the morning, and basically all of the walls of produce and meat and stuff would be empty. And so not only are we having to unload the freight, break it down, put it in the cooler and everything, but when we have to go to stock the floor, usually, if the second shift does their job, we shouldn't have to stock a lot on the floor in the morning. They should have it all stocked before they leave. But we come in, and that's a whole nother, that takes a whole lot more time to have to stock everything. And so, just a big old pain in the ass. And sometimes we had a crew member or whatever, but they were short in bakery or whatever, so they pull her off to go do bakery. So they didn't have any problem taking people away from our department. Anyways, so they were taking points again, but we have paid time off. We have protected paid time off that we would earn. So there were some times when I called in, I wasn't feeling good or whatever, and I'd get paid for it, and it wouldn't give me a point. But I ended up going through all of that, and there were times when I wasn't feeling good. And unfortunately, in the winter, I found out a problem that I haven't had is that I would wake up to go to work, and I would open my door, and my door would not shut because the lock was frozen or whatever. My door wouldn't shut. You go to shut the door, and it would be like the seatbelt was in the way, and the door just wouldn't shut. But the seatbelt wasn't in the way, the lock was frozen. And I'd just slam it, why isn't this latching? Why isn't this latching? And so I looked, at the door latch, and I got a screwdriver, and I tried to fiddle with it, but I still couldn't get it to latch. And, it's so early in the morning, I don't wake up, I don't have a lot of time. I wake up, get dressed, maybe drink coffee or whatever, and it's get in the car and go. That's how much time I have. So when my door is not latching, it's okay, now I'm going to be late. So I'm at least going to take a half a point. I don't know anybody that's going to help me 3 in the morning. So there were some times that I got points because of that too. And maybe I could have called him and explained it. Maybe I could have got half a points or whatever. But long story short, it got to the point where I had 4 points, and I was sick one day, and so I decided that I had a fever. I wanted to every time we come in, we get temperature checked and everything, and we have the option to take a 2-week leave. If we have a fever, they want us to go home. So I did a self-assessment, and it said to stay home for 15 days. So I filed for a paid leave, and I didn't talk to the supervisor about it though, and she got mad about it and tried to call me, and I didn't call back. and next thing I know is like they took me off the schedule and everything, and I couldn't log into the website and stuff, so they fired me. So that's what happened. But it's kind of a relief because, it was a mistake for me going to first anyway. It's way too early. It's ridiculous hours. The way that we were shorthanded so much was completely ridiculous. There was a lot that I could complain about it, and I can't say that it was all bad, but it was becoming stressful to my life. And not only that, but, my outside life is just being stressful too. Just with the COVID thing and everything else, being ignored by people and whatever. And it's like, I'm going to work, dealing with bull crap, getting off, and dealing with bull crap off of work. And, I'm not having a lot of money to necessarily have fun with, or to make plans with, or to do anything with. It's like I'm getting by. And I had a brother who helped me out a lot through the years and through this year, with donations and donating movies and games and stuff like that, and then taking care of some of my fun stuff or whatever, or even bills when I needed help. And it helped out a lot because, I could focus on paying bills with my checks, and he's buying me games that I can enjoy, and I didn't have to drain my checks like that. But he got ill, and so I'm not getting that help. And I need to step it up anyway. So, I have to step it up at this point, because Walmart's just not going to cut it. And I'm really getting sick of living in my apartment. I'm very blessed with my apartment. I'm glad that I have my own place to stay. I'm not living with my mom and all of that. But it's feeling smaller and smaller, and I can't do the things that I want to do in this apartment. So I realized that I really need to fight to try to get my own house. And I need to get my house the way that I want to have my house. It's got to be in the country. It's got to be at least 3 bedrooms. That's what I'm looking at. And I realized that my house payments could be, the same or cheaper, or just maybe slightly more than my rent is anyway. So I would just be paying for a long time. But I feel like I could do so much more and be so much more free. The problem with me trying to get a higher paying job, though, is going to be that I'm not going to have freedom for a long time. It's going to be like 5-6 days a week. And I'm going to be drained, and it's basically going to be working and having money, and having like one day to enjoy. That's going to be about it. But, I can get things done if I can do that. So I have kind of some different goals, some different ideas, but I want to work on my channel and on my website and everything, like always, but I have a lot of other things that I gotta figure out, obviously. And I was really hoping that having this time off from work while I'm looking again is that I was gonna be able to, go through some commentaries and stuff and really get some work done. And I might be able to still. But I mean, weeks have gone by already to where I haven't. But I've been having to figure out a lot of things. I've been waiting, and every day, different days, waiting on different things. Making sure that this bill's going to be paid and that bill's going to be paid, and then trying to always stay ahead of whatever's coming. And so, yeah, I was supposed to have a 2-week paid leave, and I thought, I needed to talk to the manager, but, to me, what she did was wrong, but it can be debated, whatever. She could have just said, okay, you're on a 2-week sick leave. She knew that because we have to file through a different company and they notify them. So, I shouldn't have had to notify her personally. We don't have to notify them when we call in sick. we dial a number and we say, we're not coming in, and it tells them. So I don't see why the leave is any different, but we should all be granted that, and that's what they want us to do when we're feeling sick. So, but anyway, she fired me only within a few days of that leave, so I did not get the second week, and so that was even money I couldn't even count on. And then I was like, okay, my income tax sucked, I guess, because the stimulus was taken out or whatever. I don't know if that affected it or how it works, but usually I expect if I worked like all year that I would make like $1,000 in a tax return or something, but no, it was like under 300, so that doesn't even pay rent. But it got even worse than that, because I was supposed to get like 160 from my federal and like 100 from my state, and I found out that through TurboTax somehow they took out like 120 in fees out of my federal, so I only got like 40 for the federal versus 160, and that was a big shock when I found that out. There's supposed to be bonuses coming up with Walmart that might still show up on my check. So I'm thinking of, of course, I'm hoping that the stimulus is going to be passed. But regardless, anyways, I'm looking for work and stuff, so I have other options and other plans. But, I could run it, somewhat comfortably for maybe a couple of months, which I don't think it's going to take that long at all for me to get a good job. But I applied at the job that I wanted to apply at. It's a place I already worked, and sometimes they take rehires and sometimes they don't. Plus, I don't know how it's going to affect what happened at Walmart. But they said basically they have to talk to management now to see if they're going to be interested in me, and I have to wait, and it could be like 2 to 3 weeks. So, but I've applied other places, and I'll continue to apply. But yeah, all of this is going to be on my 34th birthday. This is how I'm going to spend my 34th birthday. Once again, not knowing what the future is going to be. But I guess I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful everything's paid up and good for today. I'm actually very blessed. I know that. Oh man, just talking too much. But yeah, it's been a rough year, and it's been a rough winter, and I feel like the winter has been kind of the pinnacle of the crap year. Not to mention, how the election was bullcrap and everything else. Unbelievable. I don't know. These are just thoughts. This is just a vlog. I'm just being transparent and just sharing with you. But yes, I need to get my prayer life active. I need to return to God in a sense. And so with the whole, I'm planning on, when I get a job, I'll probably try to get second shift because it's comfortable, even though you can't really have a life having second shift. But and first shift for most jobs is a lot different because you would go in at like 6 or later, so not like 4 like Walmart stupid crap. So I mean, first could be good, but I'll probably shoot for second because I need to find something I can get comfortable with and just stick with it at least for another year. I mean, I could change again in another year, but I want to find something and hold on to it again and make some progress. But, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of disappointments here and there. Not gonna go over everything, I guess. I don't need to just complain. I'll talk about what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my relationship with my mom, who I'll be spending all my time with tomorrow. I'm recently trying to get into hockey, getting into sports a little more. Really been enjoying hockey. I got ESPN Plus, which is pretty awesome subscription service. It's at $6 a month. And it's just something additional to kind of keep my mind off of things, or to enjoy my time, I guess, while I'm kind of stressing over a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, a good thing is too, I've applied for food stamps, and hopefully at least they called this morning and I missed them, so I hope they call tomorrow and I get them. I'm gonna have to turn my volume up on my phone. I thought they were gonna call again today, and they didn't, so I spent most of my day waiting on that. It'll get to the point where I'll at least have all my bills paid up until the middle of next month, and I should be able to come up with taking care of those too when they come. But as long as I get that extra grocery money, it'll be nice. And so at least for like 2 weeks, then I can relax a little bit more. I can apply places like every day, and just kind of get a routine of whatever I need to be doing, studying, praying, cleaning up, preparing for whatever the future is going to be. But yeah, there was the big trip to Japan that I wanted to go with my cousin the year before and this year. And I guess it's a good thing that we couldn't go, in a way. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I could have made things work either way, but basically with, the stimulus, well, I mean, I guess that would be a time, but whatever. The taxes, I was kind of counting on that being a portion of the money, which was considerably lower. But, things could have still worked, but now, I guess my aunt and uncle own like a cabin or something in Hawaii. They've went there before, and they're wanting me to go to Hawaii with them, but they're wanting to go like at the end of April. And they're willing to pay for like the hotel and everything. They want me to pay for the plane tickets or whatever else. But the problem is, now that I'm looking for a new job, if I find a job like I want, that will be like a strict schedule, then I can't do that, which isn't really a huge letdown to me. But it's a possibility I could do that, I could go, but I'm thinking it's more likely a possibility not. But maybe if the job that I want kind of puts it off interviewing me for a while, and maybe if I talk to them, they would let me, so maybe there's a way I can do both, but I don't know. And I think they don't even know about the trip, really, because, I was talking to him today about how we're going to have like, COVID tests and stuff to go. Like, they're not mentioning anything like that. Like, you gotta get your freaking head on straight, man. Can't do anything these days. Doesn't matter if they own land there or not, You can't have a high temperature. We can't have a fever. And sometimes that just happens. So, I don't know. I'm not thinking about that too much. But, yeah, I am very blessed with what I have. I'm glad of where I've made it, and I've made it this far because of a lot of help. And I'm not trying to lose everything. So I'll fight to keep what I have, and to keep building and doing better. And I may have to shift here and there, but I went through this last year. I worked at Casey's for like 2.5 years, which was part-time, basically, but, then I jumped from another job that was paying a little more, that I thought was going to be my future for a while, and I ended up hitting the deer, had problems with that job, went to another job that I completely hated, then I went to Walmart, and, yeah, I'm surprised I stayed there that long, because, like I said, I was kind of having some troubles early on. They really appreciated me too, and the lady who was the head of the meat and produce gave me such high praise all the time. Like, it makes me feel really bad the way that things happen, but I know she knows it's not all my fault. It's not her fault or anything. It's just the way it is, and they go through people there like crazy, so. But I need to do better anyway, like, money-wise. It's not gonna cut it. I can't continue, the way that I was with getting new games and stuff and paying bills and stuff. It would just turn into me just paying bills anymore. So, but yeah, anyway, I feel like I've ranted enough. I'll upload this. It's gonna be my birthday. I'm excited. It's, I've had some really good, memorable birthdays, and I tried to enjoy my birthday. But, I will enjoy it tomorrow with Mom, I'm sure. I don't know what's gonna happen, but if everything goes fine, then I will. We'll have fun. I'm gonna watch a hockey game, probably. Watch some movies, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when I turn 35. Will I have a house by the time that I'm 35? It's possible. And boy, what a difference that could make. I've already talked to the real estate agents. They're, they know what I want, so they're going to call me if there's anything available. And he said maybe in the next couple of months there would be. But I'm not working right now, so that's probably not a good thing. But I mean, if I secure a higher paying job, and my aunt and uncle said that they would be willing to even co-sign, or they would be willing to help with the down payment, I mean, I just need to land a good paying job, and then something needs to become available, and then I need to figure out, how much I'm going to need, or how much help I'm going to need. And if I need help, hopefully my aunt, and uncle will pull through, and it could make a big difference. I'm sure there's a lot of negative things that could happen that I'm not foreseeing. There's a lot of things that I might not know about, how it'll affect everything, but, and I'd be secure. I mean, I'd be, stuck. I know that. But I think I'm okay with that. I mean, for now, I guess I wouldn't know what the future is, but I like being able to say, I could move to another state right now or something, but I wouldn't leave my mom at this point anyways. But if my mom was gone, then yeah, maybe I wouldn't care. But I kind of like being in this area right now. So, but I'm just thinking about how I would be able to exercise in peace. I'd be able to play drums again. It would be awesome. I would have a lot more recording space. I'm tired of, trying to record in my bedroom and having my bed take up half the space. And I don't like having my bed on camera. And I've always fought to try to use the green screen in some kind of creative way or something. If I just had an extra room that could just be just for that or whatever, it would be so much easier. I could have so much more fun experiment. I just don't have space because it's like I don't have any way to where I can have it like set up permanently or to where I can easily like move it out of the way or whatever. It's always like a struggle, like getting stuff out and then having to move it back or whatever. Like, no, I just need more room. I can turn music up as loud as I want in my own home in the country. I can go outside and get fresh air and peace and be left alone and sit in a lawn chair and just stare at the stars and do recordings and just read scripture outside. It'd be amazing. Praise God, I hope. Please. So that's something that I want to happen in the next year. It's one goal. Of course, I still would like to travel. I still would like to go to Japan. And other things, but definitely a house. And savings is another one. And it would be so easy to save with this higher paying job. I mean, the job, like I said, I was making $12 an hour at Walmart, which is low. And they might be making some raises eventually, whatever. Like I said, they did give some bonuses, but yeah. Minimum wage in Illinois, I think it's like 11 something, so they're not too far ahead there. Store-wide, nationwide, Walmart might be pushing for $15 minimum wage, in the next year or something. I'm not sure. But basically, it's going to be 15 like everywhere before too long. Illinois already has the plan. In 2025, it'll be 15 an hour. But I think even before then, a lot of places are going to get it ridiculous. Anyways, one of the places I want to work at really is they start off at like 18, 19 an hour. So, I mean, that's considerably a lot more. And it pays weekly, not bi-weekly. And like I said, it's something I've done before, and I did for a while. And I think at this point that I could handle it and appreciate it more. There's another place that I applied that pays like 22 an hour starting out. So that's where I'm trying to fight to go, and there's other places that I'm going to try too. I might even try with the U.S. Postal Service, I don't know. But I've had my DUIs. I don't know if it's been long enough that those will hurt me or not. Probably. But I might try. But I have a lot of ideas. There's some options. And I mean, there are places that are hurting for people still, so I might get lucky. I don't know. But if I have to latch on to another minimum wage job, at least maybe it can be closer and it won't be a drive like Walmart was, because Walmart was like 20 minutes away from me. And I had the issue with my vehicle. Like I said, the door in the winter, it wouldn't shut. I've never had that problem before. But I think it was because it was so early in the morning. It was like when it was the coldest. And I think that's why. I don't know. I've read some about it, like you can put WD-40 on your latch or whatever, and it could help. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I've went on for almost 40 minutes. And in 4 minutes, it's going to be my birthday. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. But, God bless, guys.